He's going to test you. It's inevitable. And the way you respond is going to dictate everything that happens from there on out. Let me explain. Gentlemen, we have approached the point in the channel where we must now talk about frame. And frame is the most misunderstood topic in all of dating. Now, the red pill influencers will have you believe that frame is all about maintaining your alpha masculine dominance. Always leading, always being super masculine, always trying to control the situation. But that is not what maintaining frame is about. Maintaining frame is really just about being unapologetic and standing your ground when she pokes fun at you, when she tests you. She really just wants to see, by testing you, that you are who you say you are. And we'll get to a couple examples in a bit that'll show you how you should actually be approaching these situations when she does inevitably test you. Now, the thing I think you guys also need to realize that it's not a bad thing when she tests you. First of all, it's going to happen all the time. Get used to it, okay? That's just the way the game is played. She's going to test you maybe when you first match. She's going to test you on dates 1, 2, 3, and probably every single one going forward, okay? And she has to test you. She has to see you are who you say you are. And the way you pass, it's very simple, it's very easy. The way you pass is by simply standing your ground, not backtracking, not apologizing. For example, say she's like, oh, this was going so great, but now I just found out you're from New Jersey. Sorry, I don't date East Coast guys. All you gotta say to that is like, don't worry, you'll adjust. With a little bit of a smirk, of course. And then that's how you pass the test. If you were to instead say something like, oh, but you know, I'm so much different. That's why I moved out here to beautiful Colorado, because I'm not like every other East Coast guy, blah, blah, blah. Then she knows it was all just an act. Then she knows she can just walk all over you, and that's not fun. And what you have to understand, guys, is from the women's perspective, is that a guy who fails that test, quote unquote, is actually a lot more dangerous because she can't trust a guy who's a constant shapeshifter. She can trust a guy who the guy knows exactly who he is and is unapologetic for it. And that is what is actually masculine, okay? That's what's actually alpha-like behavior, if you will. All right, guys, so now let me give you some examples here. So she says, this is the cage shake scenario. She says, you're so weird. Are you always like this? Guys, it's not a rejection, it's a security check. That's what you need to understand, okay? Most guys hear this alarm going off and they immediately backtrack. They immediately look to soothe her. It's the exact wrong thing. And guys, she's seen it all a million times. It's not like there's gonna be any gray area based on how you respond. She's an attractive girl. She's been on a million dates. She's met a ton of dudes. She knows. She has the pattern recognition. So the apology is the threat, okay? And it's like, you know, when you confess, when you apologize, it's like you're taking off a costume. That's why she can't trust you when you fail. So let's say she says, LOL, you're so weird. Is this a bit? Right? Because you've been using the guy app, linking in the description, killing the text game, and now she's like, I don't know. This guy seems a little too good to be true. I need to test him. So she says, LOL, you're so weird. Is this just a bit? Before, guys like you, and I was exactly like this, I would have said something like, haha, sorry. I'm just messing around. I'm actually pretty normal, I promise. Anyway, how's your day been going so far? Now, if you were to now that's the exact type of time where you should be downloading the Guy app. You don't even need to download, actually. It's just a web app as of right now. But that's exactly why you need the Guy, because a lot of you guys would fumble right then and there. But with the Guy app, you could upload that, take a screenshot, upload it, and get an analysis of the conversation. Or let's just say you think you have all the text game figured out, because we've had a lot of guys who are using the Guy app, great, and it gets them the first date, they have a great first date, then they think they've got it all figured out. They think they can go and just run their own God-given text game. And then they shoot themselves in the foot, they don't get a response for 2 days, then they need to use the Guy app, and usually the Guy app can get them right back on track with the double text, and it is possible to double text confidently. I'm sure I'll talk about that in the future video. But they nearly fumbled because they didn't trust the guy. No, you must always trust the guy. If there's one thing I have learned in this entire process, it's that you always trust the guy. So the guy would say, if you were to run that response that I just gave of, I'm just messing around, I'm actually pretty normal, I promise, how's your day? Because you're trying to pivot with that question at the end, trying to get out of this little trap that you've set yourself. The guy would say, that's not going to work. You just killed everything. She was intrigued and you panicked and you apologized for being interesting. Sorry, I'm actually pretty normal, I promise, is you ripping off the costume because she noticed it and now you're standing there naked asking her about her day like a LinkedIn connection. She didn't say stop. She said, is this a bit? That's her knocking on the door harder. You answer by going deeper, not folding. That's really also a key framework you can use. Always just amplify the absurdity. This is also a unique social situation tactic you can use as well with both men and women. You could just say, number 1, what bid? 2, I wish it was a bid. 3, this is the most serious conversation I've had in weeks. The guy recommends going 2, I wish it was a bid. It's 4 words and it tells her everything she's seen and just who you are. No apology, no explanation, no breaking. She wanted to know if you're real and you just confirmed you are without stepping outside anything. Now she's even more curious. That's what you guys have to realize. She's only gonna test the guy she's interested in. So whenever now, I've made the mindset shift based on the philosophy that I've outlined on this entire channel that my co-founder and I literally fell ass backwards into. We had to really just discover this from the ground up as if we were, expeditionists who landed in like the Arctic and we were just discovering it all and mapping the territory for the first time. She's only going to test you guys if she likes you, if she's curious, if she's intrigued, if she's like, man, I might actually go out on a date with this guy. So whenever I see a message like that could be viewed, as most of you guys probably would view it, as like a shit test, quote unquote, I actually smile. I'm like, oh, we're in there now. Because that means she's not gonna test a guy who she has 0 interest in. She's just, 1, isn't even gonna match with him most likely, but 2, at a certain point, she would just ghost or unmatch, right? So that's the mindset shift you must make, is that the frame control is simply you not being afraid to just be yourself. And guys, you don't need to twist yourself into a pretzel to try to conform to whatever you think she likes. At the end of the day, if things progress, if she's interested, I get all worked up and I'm like, I'm just rolling. But guys, if she's interested enough in you to go out on a date and it goes to date 3, date 7, date 15, eventually she's going to find out who you really are anyway. You cannot put on a costume for the next 40 years of your life if you get married and things go 100% according to plan, right? So you just can't be afraid to be yourself. And when you have that intrinsic confidence in you and you're unapologetic and you're just very self-aware, that's when you're actually going to be the most confident, charismatic version of yourself. Okay, guys? So hopefully this video has been helpful. Hopefully you now understand that when she tests you, quote unquote, which she will, because a woman needs to, it's actually very important from the female perspective to be testing these men, because all these men quite easily could have very nefarious purposes, all right? If you think about it going all back to the evolutionary time period and all that, I mean, listen, it's way above my pay grade, but, you can imagine how things were back in the animal kingdom days when, the man was the one who needed to provide resources and care for the offspring, blah, blah, blah. But guys, that's why the woman needs to test. She's only going to test you if she's interested in you, and the way you pass the test is by maintaining the frame, quote unquote, not by acting alpha and dominant like Red Pill will have you believe, which quite honestly is just really insecurity reeking as masculinity. That's what it comes down to. That's what that entire philosophy, if you will, quote unquote, actually is. So guys, hopefully this all makes sense. If you are getting the test, number 1, it's a good thing. But number 2, to ensure you pass the test, which the guy does every time with flying colors, and then it's only going to have her actually more interested in you, because once you pass the test, she's going to be like, oh, this guy's real. Oh, this guy gets it. Link in the description, guys. Free trial, pass every single test, and start having more fun on the dating apps, quite frankly. All right, that's it for me in this one. I will see you later. Any questions, drop a comment, and I'll get back to you. Take it easy, fellas. Peace out.